And this is what happens when people are protesting. Basically, a few people were detained after protests, and like a lady Daria Ivanova, for example, spent 11 hours in the police over there, was called, and she was taken basically from her own flat, from her own apartment, and because she was spreading the anti-war pamphlets, basically leaflets, um, which was saying basically we will deliver coffin in your house. Um, Basically, the government will pay for it. To order coffins, basically go to the nearest военкомат, to the nearest drafting office. Who wants to be buried? Your husband, father, brother, son, and yeah, um, she was basically um, she was basically threatened there, threatened that they might basically uh, find narcotics on her, and more to that, like they were saying that they can find narcotics in her ass, implying that they would literally like rape her in the ass to search it, for it. Just hear what I'm saying right now, right? You are in custody, like that. That's a real person. That's a real person who was trying to protest this thing. That's a real person who was taken from her apartments by police, detained in the police office, right? You can't, there is no signal, you can't call anybody. You are in the custody of sadists, you're in the custody of absolute fucking vile individuals, absolute scums of the earth. Because that's the only people who work in police, in those Rosguardia, whatever. Scum, absolute fucking scum. The the like the selection is like a negative selection. Like the good people will not survive there. So young lady is being searched and is being asked like, should we search in your ass for fucking narcotics? And just so you know, like they would have done, they could have done it. They could have even find something because they would put it there and just say like, okay, next 10 years you're in jail. Just for this, just for the pamphlet that exactly describes exactly the situation that Russia is doing right now, that the Russian government is doing right now. And that's not the fucking first thing. That's not the first incident that's happened. There was literally there were um, there were poets basically, um, and unfortunately I can't open because Mediazona, for example, is blocked. So it's really hard to even open the fucking. See that's the even hardest part. That often the things are not even accessible. The information is not even accessible because it's all blocked. But um, basically there were activists who were reading poems, um, the so-called Mayakovsky чтение, Mayakovsky reads, whatever. And one of them, this guy was, I forgot his name, but he was not basically, he was actually raped in a man was raped in his ass was while he was in the custody of police, just because he dared to say something against this regime. It's just like people who live like even people from Ukraine, they think that oh, like we had our own revolutions wherever 2008, blah blah blah, that kind of shit. Like no, people, none of you, unless you are from North Korea or perhaps maybe from like some China Uyghur regions, wherever, or from Belarus, none of you know what it actually means to live in a fucking country with absolute brutal regimes. So yeah. Um, Artyom Kamardin, that's the name of the poet who was raped by the cunts from MVD, Ministry of Internal Affairs. His girlfriend was tortured and his neighbor was beaten up. That's how they do it. They quite literally come to your fucking houses, take them out, like, yeah, raped in the fucking in the office, in the police office. Will these people be ever punished for this? If this regime stands, if Western countries keep buying oil and gas and paying billions and billions of dollars and euros to Russia, this is what happens, because the regime has money. Russian people cannot like just overthrow it by themselves, because, like I'm saying, you need some sort of elites that would help Russian people, if anything, just with weapons. And Baltic states are saying, no, go back to this country that literally takes you, police, the fucking people who're supposed to protect you from criminals. They are themselves criminals. If you're protesting against this regime and you get into custody of police, right? You get taken from the streets. That's your next step. You're being raped. It just so fucking pisses me off when cunts who live in democratic countries are saying that Russians should not flee, as if the fucking as if the other option is better. How do you supposed to fight against people who are equipped with literal like armor, who wear helmets, who wear like freaking I don't know, like bulletproof vests and whatnot? How are you supposed to fight against people who are equipped like that, like Russian OMON, for example, who have like those like riot shields, like I'm saying, who are equipped with armor, with batons, with everything? Like, how are you supposed to do any damage to these people if you don't have weapons? And Russians on scale, they don't have weapons. Most of them don't have weapons. Their shins are protected, their chests are protected, their arms are protected, their faces are protected. So how are you supposed to? And you have like absolutely unarmed people. How are you supposed to even beat these people? How are you supposed to get them unconscious? How are you supposed to actually I don't know, get them some sort of a concussion? If what, are you gonna be beating a helmet? Try to fucking punch a helmet. Let's see let's see what's gonna be stronger, the helmet or your fucking fists. I'll give you a hint. It's gonna be a helmet. People just don't understand just what it means to live in Russia, what it means to actually, like, what kind of people are in Russia, what kind of people are in those departments like OMON, like Rosguardia, basically those who are internal to Russia. They don't die anymore in on Ukrainian soil in this war. They're protecting Putin, they're protecting the fucking regime. And that's exactly the same thing. It was exactly the same. It's still exactly the same thing in Belarus. The same fucking cunts. The same, very well equipped with weapons, lethal weapons, with shotguns, with rifles, and they will shoot people. They will shoot people because they do shoot people. If push comes to shove, they will shoot people, and they are brutal because they serve this regime. They don't serve the people. They serve the regime. It is regime who they're protecting. It is regime who pays them. And so how are you supposed to beat even one of these people if they're literally in a fucking armor? It's like fighting against Iron Man. And the second you are in a custody of police, you are fucked, because nobody can help you there. Nobody can help you there at all, literally. Quite emotional. quite emotional today, especially about this thing about